This week's top Disney news stories include Disney's new Disney Magic Moments site and temperature checks at Disney parks. There are also stories about other things Disney is doing to connect to people during the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, including a Broadway benefit concert and some apps. Stay tuned, and I'll break it all down. Well, hello there. My name's Jeremy and welcome back to Freeform Disney, where I talk about all aspects of Disney, from the animated movies to the theme parks to Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar, and the TV shows, and everything else in between. And that is why it's Freeform. And keep coming back every day for new daily content. If you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now it's that time of the week once again, so on to this week's biggest Disney news stories. Our top story of the week is Disney working to provide more content to people who are at home during the coronavirus pandemic. And better yet, this is free content. On Monday, April 6th, Disney launched a new website named DisneyMagicMoments.com. What can we hope to find there? ABC News reported that we can, quote, expect offerings from Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars, as well as Walt Disney Animation Studios, National Geographic, Disney Parks, and beyond, end quote. You might just say, it's a little freeform. I think someone was stealing from my show right there. No? Some of the things we can expect to see, we have pieces from National Geographic. That at least includes the Nat Geo at Home, which is definitely aimed at kids. Maybe some other National Geographic stuff coming. Nothing specific was mentioned. We have, this one's really cool, some Frozen shorts that are coming out. These are being called At Home with Olaf. First episode was written and voiced by Josh Gad, the voice of Olaf, and it was animated by Disney animator Hiram Osmond. Just between the two of them, they went ahead and pulled that off while at home. Pretty cool. And it's not the last one we can expect. Don't know how often they'll be coming out, but we do know that it's being called a series. Pretty cool. Then they have a Storytime With series that they say is coming out daily, which will have people like John Stamos, Ming-Na Wen, Jeff Goldblum, Yvette Nicole Brown, and more, reading a story aimed at kids, it seems like. But that doesn't mean the rest of us can't enjoy it. Then we have the Voices from Home series. That will have the Dapper Dans, and they'll be doing more stuff. The Dapper Dans have already released one video. I talked about the Dapper Dans in a previous video on the channel, including a bit of talk about their Voices from Home thing, which is the first time they've ever done an online video like that at all. You can check that out in the upper corner or down below if you like. Also, they'll have music groups like the Jammers and others who will also be performing some Voices from Home. There's going to be virtual ride-throughs. They put one up of It's a Small World already. Now it's not a full ride-through like you might be able to find online somewhere. It's actually numerous of the parks cut together. It looks like 5 of the different parks, and it's actually less than 3 minutes. But it's well shot. It's well put together and well edited. Fun to watch. They've also put up the Magic Happens Parade, so you can watch that virtually. And there are going to be more and more things coming out over the coming weeks and months. They have some Draw with Disney Animation things where they've put up numerous already, including Anna, Elsa, Olaf, Ariel, and there are more up already and more still is to come. And I love the animation pieces. Love going over to California Adventure and doing that when I'm in there. So this is fun too. They have a Disney Channel dance montage to help get you up and active. Next up, there's a Disney Broadway Instagram Live workshops, which are happening every Monday at 12:30 p.m. and are 15 to 20 minutes long. While we're on the topic of Disney Broadway, we have a Disney on Broadway Get Up and Go. Those are, quote-unquote, to teach choreography from home. And they're really about focusing on healthy, active living and getting you up and going, so lots of dance to help get you active. And finally, there's a Pixar in a Box, which is a collaboration with Khan Academy, where they'll be doing some behind-the-scenes look at how Pixar artists do their jobs and teaching you a bit there. Let's go and take a look at the website itself. If you type in DisneyMagicMoments.com, it'll redirect you to a page on Disney's main website, which you can directly reach by going to Disney.com/magicmoments. The page is set up in a scrolling blog format. I gotta be honest, I don't think it's the best setup. It's a little tricky to find something specific if you're after just say the drawing videos or if you're just after one of the specific things in there. So hopefully in the future they'll have a bit better of an organization to it. There are a few main sections in it. At the very top, we've got videos. Then, underneath that, we have a D23 highlights section, which will take you to some D23 articles over there. Up next, there's a series of news stories, one after another, highlighting some new features, videos, etc. And finally, at the bottom are 2 links, one to the Nat Geo at Home piece, and one to the Pixar in a Box. This is awesome. Love Disney putting up all this great new free content and all the work going into providing us all something new to go look at. So go check it out. After all, it's free. Our next news story is about what we can expect when Disneyland, Disney World, and the other Disney parks around the world open back up. We have 2 things to really look at to clue us in. First, Bob Iger recently gave an interview which will provide some insights. And second, we can look to the theme parks which have started to reopen in China already. Not Disney, but other ones. On to Bob Iger. Bob Iger recently mentioned the possibility of temperature checks when US Disney parks eventually reopen. He said in China, quote, "You can't get on a bus or a subway or a train or enter a high-rise building there, and I'm sure this will be the case when their schools reopen, without having your temperature taken," end quote. Let's go a little further. He also said, quote, "Just as we now do bag checks for everybody that goes into our parks, it could be that at some point we add a component of that takes people's temperatures, as a for instance," end quote. So Bob Iger caveats this a little bit, but clearly this seems to be a likely possibility that they're thinking about it if they'd even throw it out there this way. What else did Bob Iger say? He also said that Disney is studying China's efforts to let people return to everyday activities. That leads to our question here. What have the theme parks in China been doing recently? Disney's parks haven't opened back up yet, but some of the other theme parks in China have, and here's what we've seen so far. We've seen strict measures in place in a number of the parks that have opened back up. Common in here is that before entry, visitors are required to present their IDs and health QR codes and undergo temperature checks. The health QR codes is something that China is doing with a 3-color system to help make it clear if someone currently has coronavirus, if they've recovered from it, etc. Also, you must make a reservation in advance and wear a mask inside the park. Some will also require mobile payment in a large way to avoid contact, so you would not be able to pay by cash or pay by card. It's all about mobile payments that don't have to actually involve contact between more than one person. Over at the Haichang Ocean Parks, they keep a strict real-time monitoring of the tourist numbers inside the park. They even make sure to close down certain inside areas or outside areas when the numbers get too high. So even within the park in different areas, they're tracking those numbers to make sure that things keep low enough that you don't have an overcrowding problem. All of their staff wear masks and they regularly disinfect things, on top of what we've heard earlier. Over at the Shanghai Happy Valley Ocean Park, for their popular rides, they are all operating at 40% capacity. Also, they have 16 on-site ticket collection machines, and you queue up virtually to avoid long lines. They've also trained their staff for non-contact service. They have signs every 1.5 meters, or 6 feet, in waiting areas and recreation equipment to go ahead and make sure to remind tourists to keep a distance of at least 1.5 meters from each other to keep that social distancing in place. Also, their indoor activities like dining and performances remain closed. Some of their outdoor activities are also closed, such as parades. These parks provide some clear examples of things that may also come to Disney's theme parks in the US and outside it when they do reopen. We've already heard talk from Bob Iger about temperature checks. We could definitely see some kind of form of the health QR codes go into place. Requiring masks definitely could be something we could see. Working on more mobile payments so as to avoid contact, that could definitely happen as well. It would be unsurprising to see lower capacities on the rides. Also, in talking about the virtual queues, it's interesting to note that Disney actually added a virtual queues tab on the Disneyland app not that long ago. So this definitely might be something they're looking into. And sadly, we can probably expect that things like parades, the fireworks, Fantasmic will be heavily impacted while the pandemic is still ongoing over the next 1.5 to 2 years until we finally gotten immunization against it. Unless they can find a safe way to do it that doesn't generate giant crowds, which is the real danger in terms of parades and fireworks and Fantasmic, that's sadly something we will probably lose during that period of time in between now and actually having vaccines and the population vaccinated. Any or all of these may happen within the Disney parks, or even more, who knows? We don't know for sure right now, but we can definitely look to what's going on already to try to get an idea of what we might expect. Okay, on to the lightning round, everyone. Pixar is releasing lots of backgrounds on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and they're taking requests too, so go ask. Disney has announced that they will be suspending the remainder of its internship programs, which it hadn't canceled already. That includes their cultural representative program. Also, they mentioned that arrivals for the Disney College program have now been suspended through June, so they're not bringing anyone new in until at least July at this point. Essential cast members still working at the parks are now allowed to wear masks while working, and that's definitely a good step that they took there. Definitely please help protect our cast members. New features are now available in the Disneyland and My Disney Experience mobile apps. These are meant to provide more to entertain people while the parks are closed. This means there are things like the artist studio there, recipes to make cool Disney food, and a Jungle Cruise joke of the day, amongst other things. Feel free to check it out. Disney Plus has just passed 50 million subscribers. Impressive. Most impressive. Finally, we come to our last Disney news story of the week. A quick one for you. Disney is going to be live streaming a benefit concert next week to raise money to help people during the pandemic. Last November, Disney had a Broadway anniversary concert titled Celebrating 25 Magical Years of Disney on Broadway. And it was a big success in raising money for charity. Well, that concert is going to be streamed live April 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time to raise money for the COVID-19 Emergency Assisted Fund managed by the Broadway Cares and Equity Fights AIDS organization. On top of live streaming what they had done in November, they will also be having some new live guest interviews. If you're interested in watching it, there are a few different options. There's BroadwayCares.org, YouTube.com/BCEFA, or Facebook at the same thing, Facebook.com/BCEFA, or a number of the different ABC channels online, or the local channels. Now, this sounds like a great thing to tune into. It should be really cool to watch. Are you going to be tuning into it? I'd recommend it. And if you have the means available, this is a good cause to donate to. And that's the news for this week. Did I miss any big Disney news stories? What's your favorite thing Disney has released through the Disney Magic moments so far? Let me know down below in the comments. And thanks for watching. If you liked it, please give it a like and share it with your friends. I'll be back tomorrow with yet another new video. If you haven't done it yet, please click that subscribe button and ring the bell. Have a magical day, everyone, and may the force be with you always.